Hello everyone, this is Josh Pastine with Koch University, and today I'm going to show you how to navigate Blackboard Ultra and perform some of the most essential tasks. So first off, before you do anything else, you need to make sure that you're using Google Chrome as your web browser. See down here, you can see that I'm using Chrome as my web browser. The reason for this is that Blackboard is developed with Chrome in mind, and it's optimized for Chrome. Therefore, it works better in Chrome than with any other browser. With other browsers such as Firefox or Safari or Edge or Internet Explorer or whatever they're calling it this week, you may run into some issues. You may run into some bugs, some things may not work correctly. So it is highly recommended that you just use Chrome for Blackboard. Even if you personally prefer another web browser such as Safari or Firefox. Personally, I like Firefox. But whenever I'm doing anything in Blackboard, I make sure and use Chrome because it just works better and it's much less frustrating. So make sure you're using Chrome. To get to Blackboard, go to coker.blackboard.com. You'll be greeted with a page like this, and you just sign in using your username and your password. Alright, I have signed in, and you should land on the assist page. It should look something like this. This assist page has links to a lot of the important services and things that we provide, such as the Trio and the Writer Studio, but there's also all kinds of other stuff. Academic Catalog, Blackboard Help, Cobra Alert, all kinds of stuff on this assist page that's kind of like a quick access for you if you ever need them. But to get to your courses, you just come over here on this left navigation menu and click on Courses. And you'll see here there's a lot of different courses. I'm an instructor for several different courses, so I'll have a bunch of them here, but you can have them too. You can organize them right here using either the little list like that, or you can click on the grid and it'll put them in a grid. You'll see that they're organized by term or favorites. What I like to do and what I recommend you do is that for all of your current courses, you click the little star over here on the side, which adds them to your favorites and automatically sticks them at the top. This is what I do for the courses that I am currently teaching. So I've got my blank course, I've got a couple courses I'm teaching, and I've also got the employee training. All of those are favorited, so they automatically stick at the top. I highly recommend that you do this. You can also search for them, so if I wanted to search for my EDCIT courses, you can see here that I teach 560 and 570 in there, and it just pulls them up for each time that I've taught them. So to get rid of that, just click the X and it'll go back to the normal view. So let's say that you find the course you're looking for. So let's go ahead and go into my blank course. So now I have entered the course. You'll see here that I am in student preview, so I'm in student mode, and your course should look something like this. Over here on the left, you have details and actions. This is stuff about your course. You can view the roster for everybody in the course. If your professor is using Blackboard Collaborate, you can join right here, and your instructor can give you more information about that. You can view your past attendance if your instructor puts it into Blackboard. You can view groups if your instructor set that up. If there are any announcements, they'll be here. And if there's any course and institution books or tools, you can view them right there. So there's several things you can do over here on the left. The other navigation menu is up here at the top. You've got right here this first one that looks like a book that is highlighted. That's the content. That's where you'll spend the bulk of your time. You also have the calendar right there, where you can set your calendar. You can look at schedule, you can look at due dates. There's no due dates for this right now. You can set it by day or month. You can see here that I have 2 assignments set to be due tomorrow, but that's your calendar. You can click here to see discussions. Right now there's a discussion post that you can look at that we'll look at later, but that's where all the discussions are. Next you have grades, and you'll see here that I have a few grades that are not graded or not put in. And then over here on the side, you can also see if you have any messages in case your instructor sends a message to you. But like I said, the bulk of your time is going to be spent in the course content section. And if at any point you need to go back to the previous menu, you can just click this blue X up here and it'll close it. You'll see here they kind of tile on top of each other. So if I click on one of these, you can see that this little tile comes out. If I click on this one, this tile comes out, and you just click the blue X to close that particular tile. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about assignments and tests and accessing them. It's actually very easy to access them. All you have to do is just click on them. And you'll see it pops up here on the right with some information about it. It'll tell you when they're due, how many attempts you have left. So if your instructor allows you to submit it multiple times or take a test multiple times or something, it'll show you how many you can do, how many you have left right there. And then it also shows you the points. So let's go ahead and click View Assessment. And it looks like this, because right now I haven't added anything. This is a Chapter 1 essay. I have not added any type of content to my essay. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can click Add Content, And you can just type your essay right here if you really wanted to, although I do not recommend this. The reason for this is because if something happens to your computer or your web browser or your internet connection, it's like if you drop internet or if your computer shuts off or if Microsoft decides it wants to update, then you just lose whatever you've typed because this is not saved. So instead, what I highly recommend you do is you type it in Google Docs or Microsoft Word or something like that, save it to your computer, and then attach it by clicking this little paperclip button right here. So click Attachment, then I'm going to go to my desktop and my Chapter 1 essay. So it is attaching, and you can change the name if you want to. I'm happy with Chapter 1 essay.docx. And there we go. I have it here. I can add a note to my professor if I want to. And then I have this essay. You'll notice that it is generating a preview of your essay. So if you want, you can hang out until the document finishes to make sure that you're submitting the right one. Right here, it is submitted, and you'll see that I just wrote Chapter 1 essay. I didn't actually write an essay. So it's there, and then I can just hit Submit down here in the bottom right, and it'll ask, are you sure? Once you submit, you can't edit it. Are you sure? So yes, I am sure. Submit. You'll see here now I have 0 attempts left. It tells me when it's due, and I can see my submission if I want to. I can click on it, and it'll show it to me. But when I'm done looking at it, I can just click this blue X, and there I'm back at the content thing. If later on my instructor grades it and I want to look at it, that grade will show up right here where it says not graded. So that's the basics of assignments. For tests, it's very similar. You click on the test, and it'll show you the same information, when it's due, how many attempts you have, and the grading. You can get up to 20 points on this particular assessment. Now when I view the assessment, there we go. And I can see here are the questions. So where are the Great Plains? They're in the Midwest, at the great airports, nowhere because plains have 0 thickness, or next to the Meh Plains. Next to the Meh Plains. Question number 2, what is love? Baby, don't hurt me no more. All of the above. And then you can also, what's cool is you can also add additional things down here to support your answers. You don't really have to do this most of the time, but if your instructors ask you to, you can. And then once you are done, you just hit Submit down here in the bottom right. Notice that depending on the options that your instructor selected for the test, there may be more things, like there might be a timer if you only have so long to complete the test. There may be images in here, there may be other things in here, but this is the basics of it. Once you're done, you just hit Submit, and it'll say, are you sure? Once you submit, you can't edit it. Yes, I want to submit. And over here on the right, because I set this to auto grade, you can see that I already got a grade. And question 1 I got wrong, question 2 I got correctly, and I can look at that and I can see the points. If my instructor left any feedback, it would show up over here. Notice that a lot of instructors, myself included, do not automatically show the grades on the test until everyone has finished the test. So after you take it, most of the time, for most instructors, not all, but for most instructors, the grades won't be there until everyone has finished the test, just to help with cheating. So that's just how you do an assignment, that's how you do a test. And then let's talk about discussions, because that's another major part of Blackboard. As I mentioned before, discussions are up here in the top right, so it's a little bit different, but there's the discussion area. So as you can see, I'm in the discussion section now, and I went ahead and put the discussion inside a folder, just so that I can kind of demonstrate that they could be inside of folders. Usually instructors will put those on the main level instead of putting them inside of folders, but I didn't want anybody to be confused in case an instructor did decide to put it inside of a folder. So we've got an introduction folder, and there's this post right here where it just says introduce yourself. So you click on the post, and it'll say, okay, go ahead and type your response. I am Groot. And then if you want to, you can add a picture. Same as anything else, you can add a link, you can insert other content such as a math formula. I'll go ahead and do an image. The image URL, this is just inserting an image from the web. You could also attach an image that you have local to your computer, like I do. Puppy.png. So give it a display name, puppy, and the alternative text might be a cute puppy. The alternative text is necessary for people who use screen readers in order to view your file accurately. So what we want to do is just to describe the type here. If you click this top one, it will not show the picture in here. It'll just have a link that people can download it. But since all I want people to do is to be able to see this, I don't need anybody to download it. I'm going to leave this bottom one selected. So hit save, and there is now a puppy in my response. So once I'm done typing out my response, you can save a draft of these, by the way, if you want to work on it and then come back later. Hit respond, and it will post it. And now I'm there. I am Groot, and it has my picture. If anybody else wants to create a new response, they can up there, or they can reply to me right there. And that's really all that there is to discussion posts for the most part. Over here on the right, you can see where it's got the due date and it tells you how many grades they're worth. All discussions won't necessarily be worth points, but the majority will. And once I'm done, again, I just click this blue arrow to get back out of there. So now I'm in the discussion still. I can go back to content and see all my stuff. And you'll notice what's cool is that since I just added this discussion post, it showed up in my content as the instructor. The instructor can leave them in the content area, course content area, or they can remove them if they want to and just have you go here. So keep that in mind that your discussions may not be in the content area. And the next thing I want to show you how to do is how you can check your grades. Up here in the top right, you'll see there's the grade book. It looks like a little sheet with a pencil. Click on that. And you can see here that there are all of the assignments in this course, and it tells you the current status of their grading. So there's some test assignments, iPad submission tests, and then I've got the Chapter 1 essay, which I have submitted, but has not been graded. If you click on it, it'll show you that. It'll show you more information. Same with the chapter test, it's been graded. And the introduction post has been submitted, but not graded. And again, you click on that, it'll bring you to the actual post. If you click on the test, it'll show you the more information about that test. And that's how you can check all of your grades. Up here in the top right, you'll see your current grade for the course. Right now, the overall grade is not calculated because this is a preview student, a test student, so it doesn't actually run the grade calculations, but it'll show you your grade up there in the top right in a real course. And finally, one thing I wanted to show you is that once you are done using Blackboard, if you are on a public machine, such as in the library or in one of the labs or something like that, make sure that you sign out. Come back to this main page, click all the blue buttons. So if I'm inside the course, click the little blue X up in the top left until you get back to this main page, then click sign out. That's very important because otherwise other people, the next person who uses the computer, will have access to your Blackboard, and they will be able to do things to your Blackboard such as take tests in your name and submit assignments in your name and send messages in your name, and you can obviously know that's not a good thing. If you have any additional questions or thoughts or comments or anything having to do with Blackboard, please email support@coker.edu and we will be happy to help. Thank you very much.